So finally found a quiet place. Not a lot of people. Very nice view. And yeah, I probably be releasing this video along with a fundraising that I'm starting with my team and myself. And but before that, I'm also adding some articles and some work that I've been researching in the past couple of weeks, while also trying to find a place to live, which, let me tell you, it's another level, especially for a woman of color, single, and self-employed. But that's another, it's not another level, it's actually connected to what patriarchy and sexism and systemic racism and, you know, how politically all of this is intertwined. It's one big, giant, privilege, prejudice soup. And yeah. And I guess, I don't know if God or the universe wanted me to go through this so I can learn, educate myself, help my girls understand that, you know, women right now we are consider that we have rights, but also we don't. We don't. And even if we do have rights, not really voiced or really taken into consideration, as well as black girls don't really matter. I mean, look at Breonna Taylor. Look at all these trans women that their cases are completely they're abusers, oppressors are free, murderers, just because they have a badge or they have lots of money or they have power over corporation and all these things, that they can just get away with it. Kill, rape, abuse, do all the things they want to do. But if it's a, you know, white woman, someone that is considered a certain status in society, come on, right away, convicted. You go to jail for a certain amount of time, or sometimes not even. Hurt them too, women of color too. I think not every woman gets that free card. There's always something that prevents women from, you know, rising or doing better than men, you know. But this is something that I wanted to come here and tell you, that through all of this, mental health, your mental well-being, your self-care, it's like so important. So important. More than money, more than, you know, even though the system and everything that's going on right now is literally in a way to benefit those who are privileged and those who benefit from inequality, and keep the minorities and black lives and LGBTQ, indigenous communities, all children who are being trafficking and abused for ridiculous things, but not ridiculous because it's actually scientifically proven that. Anyways, I won't go more into details on the article, but I want you to also do your own research. This is also this video. I'm encouraging you that after you read my article, after you read all the research, and you know, go help Lebanon, Beirut. That's the whole point of we're creating content on this month, to help these organizations that I will put on this link also help them on the essential needs that right now Lebanon needs, absolutely right now. And if you're able to donate, that's amazing. Please do share, more knowledge. If you have more other people that are actually in the field and we're able to help, link it in the comments. Let us know. Let's keep the voice going and the spread. But I also want to, even though the catastrophe and all of this is happening and it could have been prevented, do know that these plants, the ammonium, this facility, this is an environmental issue that could have been prevented. But it just so happens that it happened when people are actually finding out about what really going on with sex trafficking, child pornography, rape, children, women. These sites are completely opened, and they're open to all these platforms that we enjoy and watch. But behind the scenes, there's actually this whole cult profiting, and it's a huge crime organization. And that's another thing where my team and we are looking into these two organizations, One Rescue and Coalition, because we have to help these children. Who does this for? Who does the protest for them? Who puts their suffering and whatever they're going through out there? Nobody. Oh no, let's just talk about TikTok. Or I don't know, putting stuff out there that is completely misinformation, completely biased, things that don't really matter, but you just I'm just gonna, because I can. It's a privilege to enjoy, have breaks, vacation during COVID-19, you know what I mean? And some people, it's oh no, but I work really hard for it. I work for this organization, I work for this company. I'm like, you do know it's a privilege to have vacation when the whole world is unemployed. There's so many people unemployed. There's so many people hungry right now and going through poverty. This is something that I also, I'm like, man, it was a privilege to have a home, even if it was full of cockroaches. Right? It's a privilege to have a company, and even though it's I am going through all kinds of things, trying to stay alive because my brain has other battles that, we don't really talk about, right? Mental illness, oh, you're taboo, or oh, you're supposed to do all of this, right? Women, and that too is instead of supporting each other, women, they kind of trash each other. Or maybe I'm hanging out with the wrong crowd, I guess. But yeah, it's also a good thing to have not so many friends and have really trust people. And those are the people that right now I can count with my fingers, who have been there for me through all these dark periods, especially. All right, I don't want to say this in camera and then one day my children find this out, but dealing with a mental illness, depression and anxiety, but depression to the point where the only thing holding me is my children. And during quarantine, lockdown, that was even harder to overcome. But it's also another battle to live in have all of this, appreciate, have that walks, and also have financial struggles, family struggles, mental illness, and all these things all combined. And then dealing with systemic racism on a daily basis. which is something, and again, it's a privilege to research and to educate oneself about racism rather than experiencing it every day. So, yeah, that's something that I want you all to, and myself too, is also to keep it clear that even when a hard time and on days that you can't even go on, that you can't even get up, that your depression is so hard, but you still like, you know what? I can't even afford to be sick. I can't even afford to stay in bed because I can't even, like, my brain is like a complete capuche, complete fry egg, you know? And still go. And then that too was like a normal thing, like, oh, but, and I found it funny that like, people would, like, I would say, yeah, we'll work through burnouts. And for other people, it's like, oh, right? It's like a normal thing, like, oh, you just like a curler, like, obviously. You have to work your entire life and fight for your own fucking rights, your entire life, especially with your skin color. And I didn't understand it until now. Like whenever I would say this to people, especially white people, they'll be like, oh, that's so hard. Oh, I understand. Do you understand? Do you? But I overcome that, and I help through people through that, and strongly advise not to work through a burnout. I think that's what got things more complicated and got more difficult, and that's what I had to cut some stuff and take one thing at a time. So my advice to you is whenever you feel too overwhelmed, when you feel too much, stick to a few things at a time. Do the things that make you money first, for sure. Anything. If you're working with a company or you're working for yourself, work on things that builds that wealth for you. Open saving account, pay all your debt if you can. Don't make more debt. That's another thing. I met so many people like just buying stuff expensive so they can look rich, so they can look like they're getting something in life, that they're doing something in life, but they have so much debt. Like they can't pay their credit cards, they can't pay their cars, they can't pay for food and stuff like that, but they go and dress of these really expensive watches, really expensive clothes, really expensive car that they can't afford, just so they look like they're doing their best life. That I don't understand. Why don't you do your best life internally? Not necessarily need, and yeah, money can help a lot of things, of course. You know, gives you a safety net, can help you help other people. Money gives you power for sure, but when you use money, that power in order to oppress other people or hurt other people, that's when it gets like, come on, really? And I think money changes people, for sure, because we all have a limit. And when we go over that limit, that's when things get complicated, right? That's when you start turning into a different human. The entitlement, the privilege and prejudice surface, right? I have this amount. I don't need to listen to you. I'm this and this so. I don't need to listen to you. I don't need to be educated. I don't need to do anything. Yet, you know that there's people hurting, there's people suffering, there's people dying, there's people going through the worst time of their lives. But you don't even look or blink or do anything because it's not affecting you. It's not affecting your ecosystem. It's not affecting your family. Oh, I just need to do me, right? Of course, you need to do you. Of course. But remember, the system and everything benefits from you just doing you and not caring about other people. It's the truth. That's why everyone's like, oh, and you just focus on you. You care about too many people. You're trying to save the whole world. You're trying to do all these things. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I care too much. And I guess that's something that this whole system doesn't like it. Has never liked it since I started doing this. I'm the black sheep. Which is why I'm looking for other black sheeps. Others who don't conform and see through this. Matrix playing thing that they're trying to put us on and trying to portray to us, and then trying to survive and sustain myself and help other people at the same time. I don't know, I know that other people, other founders and other people see themselves like, oh, if I do myself, then I'm gonna continue and that's it, I'm gonna help other people later, right? But I think doing it later becomes never. I mean, you have billionaires example. Oh yeah, we're donating to foundations this, we're doing this, we're doing that. Yet you still have billions. And you can save the world from poverty and hunger. And you can do so many things. Yet you don't. Right? Because you started with that individualism that you created, you funded all this company with that mindset. Also, most of the billionaires have stolen ideas from other people. The way that they got there is fucked up, and the way that they're still there is fucked up. So, yeah, that's why I'm literally I'm trying to find those founders who are not conformed to the original billionaires that are right now. I was looking into this woman that is only the black woman in the world who has a bank. That's pretty cool. I'll research more about that. But yes, there's a woman right now in the world, probably the only one, black woman, who has a bank. Hey, I'm just wondering what she's doing with that money right now. I mean, everyone can do whatever they want with their money, There's nobody to judge, but just be responsible of your actions, What's the point of having a motorcycle? Yeah, my battery's going to die. But yeah, my earthlings, just be kind. Use creativity to be kind. Yes, it's hard work to do your own inner work and educate yourself every day about your own inner demons, your own inner things that we need to work on. Know that systemic racism and all these isms are everyday work to dismantle it. This is many years of, and also the patriarchy is a fucking bitch. Seriously. But then again, we know that even women too benefit from patriarchy, especially women of non-color. Yeah, you know it. You know you benefit from patriarchy and cuddling with your patriarchy males who bring lots of money, right? Even though you know that they're oppressing and doing all these things to women of color and minorities, right? Doesn't affect you, right? That's privilege. And that's what we're asking you to assess and educate yourself and help those who are voiceless. Help those who can't help themselves. And just be kind. I mean, I'm still looking for somebody who has done anything other than just like, oh, let me do me only, build my team and then also still fight for social justice and fight for other people. So far, my girl Alexandria, AOC girl, Latina mami, sí mismo. Honestly, I hope she becomes the next president. It would be nice. A lot of things could be better for women and minorities and those who are voiceless too. Because we need people like that, real and not bought, and keep that integrity and, yeah, be the voice for those who don't have that voice. And that's what I wanted to do. Even though I'm struggling, even though my voice is being silent completely. And literally, investing on things that bring compound interest and things to build my own wealth. And as I'm doing that, I'm helping others at the same time. So those who want to join me and in this journey, it's a lot of work. It's not going to be like, oh, it's work. But it's work that you're working on while you're also making your own money and stuff like that, that it could build your wealth within the 5 years or 10 years. So for those who are creatives, writers, designers, people who do literacy, and entrepreneurs, coaches, that's something that if you include what you're doing, but also do social justice while you're building and you're helping others along the way, I think by now the world should be a better place, especially if you focus on sustainability, focus on the Green Deal, focus on real things that matter, and education, children education. It's so important, especially now that we know that all what we've been taught has been BS. And now it's our responsibility, parents now, to educate yourself and then okay, this is what you're learning in school, but this is what actually is, right? And but also teach your children to question everything, that whatever is being taught or whatever they see or whatever is a perception, right? Everything is perception. It's how you look at it and how you interpret it too. Yep. So make sure you educate yourself, be kind to people, help your planet, and just be a good human. That's it. Be a good human. Okay, bye. Now I'm going back to work. But just wanted to let you know that also you're not alone. If you're suffering for something really hard and you're going through some heavy stuff, you're not alone. And hang in there, okay? Believe in yourself. Be good to you, to others, And be patient. Put it out there in the universe. Write it down. What you want and what you want it to be returned back. Yeah.